Hey guys, what is up? Welcome back to my channel. So in today's video, I'm going to be doing all of the books that I read for the month of January. I was able to go ahead and read a total of 8 books, and they were all just in my Kindle, so no physical books for this month. But let's go ahead and get started, and I will show y'all the books that I liked, which ones I definitely did not enjoy. So the first one that I read was Saving Noah by Lucinda Berry. This one I did rate it a 4-star. It does have some triggers in it. I can't really tell if I need to say the triggers because it kind of gives away exactly what's going on. But basically, it's about a boy who gets in trouble for molesting these 2 girls that he coaches in swim class. And he's only like 15 at the time, so he gets sent to like this institution, and the story's mostly from the mom's point of view when he comes back home and she's trying to deal with everything that's going on. So it's very, very sad. I did not expect the ending, so I like the twist, but it was definitely a hard read. I would recommend it, just be very cautious when you're reading it. Luckily, with the molesting, they don't talk about it in detail, so it's not that descriptive or hard to read. But just his life after all of this, because he thinks that, you know, something's wrong with him, and that no one in his family understands, that it's just something that he was like born with. So yeah, that was basically it for the book. So I've never read any other books from Lucinda Berry, but I've heard really great things about her books. So hopefully this year I'll be able to read some more from her. So the next book, book 2 and 3, were The Sanatorium and The Retreat by Sarah Pierce. This is part of the Detective Ellen Warren series. So for both of these books, I did rate them 3 stars each. One thing I noticed from the books that I really did not like, I feel like it gave a lot of things away, was the fact that in the book, there's so much description about the facial features when they're saying something, to the point that I feel like it gives away, like, you know, who's the bad guy and who's doing the wrong within the book. So I didn't really like that. I had high hopes for The Sanatorium, especially because there is like this Facebook page that I follow of psychological thrillers, and just to see everyone raving about this book, and then, you know, it just wasn't for me. I feel like I really don't like detective books. I feel like they're pretty much all the same. Her writing style is just a little bit weird. I don't know of any other books that she's written, so, you know, that was whatever. So our next book, this is book 4, I read Influencer, Building Your Personal Brand in the Age of Social Media by Brittany Hennessy. This book, I did rate it 4 stars. I feel like it's a very good book to read if you're in the influencer industry, if you want more knowledge about it. It really breaks down all the lingo, all the acronyms that you'll see within the influencer community. So very easy read, easy to follow, and definitely recommend it to anyone that is within, you know, the influencer world. And then let's see, the next book. So because this is my birthday month, I wanted to read something along the lines of like a birthday book. So I read Birthday Girl by Penelope Douglas. She writes a lot of smut from what I've seen, and the only spicy books that I ever really enjoyed was 50 Shades of Grey. I read those like back in high school, so like 10 years ago. So my 50 Shades of Grey books, those are like the only smut / spicy books that I ever really read. the only ones that I ever really like actually enjoyed reading, but granted that was 10 years ago. So my reading style has definitely changed since then. I do still have them just for like memories. So overall I gave the Birthday Girl book a 4-star. I really liked the main character. I felt bad for her, and you know, she just went through a lot of stuff in life that, you know, she had absolutely no one, and this is more of like an age gap relationship that she ends up having with her boyfriend's dad. So it was just a little weird. Like, I don't know, just the age gap, 20 years, that's kind of a huge age gap. I think mostly because when you get older, it's like you can't enjoy experiences with them like how you used to. They can't help with certain things like how they used to. So but overall I think it was very good. I do have some other books from Penelope Douglas on my Kindle that I don't know if I'm gonna read. I feel like just some are so weird. Like, I have Credence, and I've heard a lot about that book where, I don't know, a girl's being shared with like her uncle and her 2 cousins or something like that. I don't know how you make a book like that and people like it. So maybe I will read it and see exactly what it's about. But yeah, that one was very good. Birthday Girl, it didn't have so much spice as like I expected. Like 50 Shades of Grey, like that's the whole plot line. But with this book, it wasn't the overall theme going on, so it was pretty mild, which I was able to handle. The next book that I read was Run on Red by Noel W. Ely. This one I also discovered from the Psychological Thrillers Facebook group that I follow, and everyone was just raving about this book recently. Not too sure when it came out, but everyone was rating it 5 stars. Everyone was saying that, you know, you had to read it in one sitting because there was no stopping point. I did give it a 5-star, so I know that this was my first 5-star read for the year. So just, you know, thriller book, crazy ending, and everything's just so unexpected with the twists and turns, and definitely makes me glad that I'm not in college, because everything takes place when the girls are in college. And you know, at least when you're older you have a better mindset of what's safe, what isn't safe. Even when you're trying to be safe, you still somehow get into a terrible position. I really like the main character. I know that what made it pretty interesting was she had like a blog and would talk about all these crimes that happen, all these crazy murder stories. So she knew, like, okay, how long can I survive if this happens, percentage rates, things like that. So it just adds more depth to the book and adds a lot to the character. So I really appreciated that, and I think overall the writing was just very good. So yeah. The next book that I read was also a 5-star read of mine. It was Do Less: The Unexpected Strategy for Women to Get More Out of What They Want in Work and Life by Kate Northrup. So this book, I would recommend it to literally everyone that was in maybe just like a parenting relationship, regardless of whether they're women or even those that were working and had to take care of children. She did also write the book Money, a Love Story, talking about like finances within a relationship. So I need to read that one as well, because if I really like this book, I feel like I'm going to like her other book, because I do especially like reading about finances and trying to improve my finances over time as I get older, and you know, creating a net worth for myself. But with this book, Do Less, it talks about how we as women have a cycle that's 28 days, but men only have like a 24-hour cycle. So it's easy for them to just keep doing the same thing. Well, when us women, you know, one day we're so productive and then the next day we just feel really sluggish, it kind of takes into consideration like our cycles and like the moon cycles, so, and how to track everything, showing how it is easier for us to do less at certain periods of time that allows for us to do more over time. And kind of a technical book. There's different experiments that it mentions to try, and I feel like overall this book really helps me because so my baby does turn 2 in 2 months, and I heard that's like the average time that it takes for you as a mother to finally get rid of the, or get out of the whole postpartum that you're going through. 2 years is kind of the mark where you start feeling more like yourself, more like a person, your own person. And that's really what I've been focusing on this year, trying to not lose myself to motherhood. You know, at the end of the day, like, I am a mom, but I am so much more than that, and I need to remind myself of that. So this book, I feel like, was super inspirational. It really helped me. And regardless if you have a cycle or not, like if you're on birth control, irregular periods, infertile, it's a very good book to help still keep track of your feelings as a woman. And I hands down would recommend this book to literally everyone. I had to calm down the brightness on it because the sun's finally coming out. But after this book, oh my god, this book. So I read Things Have Gotten Worse Since We Last Spoke by Eric LaRocca. This book was found on the Facebook page, the Psychological Thriller Books recommendations. So I don't know why, but for some reason this book, when you try to find it on Amazon, it's $100. It's like $94. And so I was like, why is this so expensive? You know, is this book really that good? Or like, what's the deal? So obviously, because it's so expensive, I got it on my Kindle for free, and I was super disappointed. This was a 1-star for me. This was one of the worst books I've ever read, and I feel bad that I wasted my time. I should have DNF'd it, but it was like 120 pages. So I was like, maybe it gets better, but it definitely didn't. I know that if you're interested, which I mean, I don't recommend this to literally anyone. They do have Things Have Gotten Worse Since We Last Spoke and Other Misfortunes. So it's that plus I think 2 other stories that are like shorter. And you can buy that book online on Amazon for $15. I don't know. I have one other book of his. I think it's called You've Lost a Lot of Blood. I don't know if I'm gonna read it just because this book was so bad. And I think it was just the relationship that the girl had. Originally she's trying to sell this apple peeler, and she meets this lady that wants to buy it from her. But then when that lady finds out that she's struggling and she's trying to sell this, you know, prized possession of hers because she can't afford rent, the lady ends up giving her money, and they just create this bond that ends up being really weird. They end up having a contract, like a submissive / dominant contract. But just over time, the lady, you can tell she's like not all there, that she just becomes obsessed with what's going on. And I don't know, just her progression was so terrible that, yeah, I expected it to be a lot better than what it was. I did not expect it to be this. So Unfortunately, that was a 1-star that I wish I didn't waste my time on, but here we are. So it is part of my January reads for the month. That was my last book. So after this video, I will be getting together my physical TBR, physical/ebook TBR for the month of February. So after this video, if you want to go ahead and wait for that one, I will definitely have it up shortly after this one. And if you guys enjoy this video, definitely give it a thumbs up. I definitely want to do more bookish related videos because I feel like that's just my niche, my vibe, something that I really enjoy doing, something that does take up the majority of my time since I do get a lot of time to read. So I'll probably discuss all of that in like a later video as well. But yeah, thank y'all so much for watching, and I will see y'all in my next video. Bye.